the network for the AV industry.
What are you listening to?
This
is AV.
This
is AVNation.
This is AVNation.
Hey everybody, welcome to the MHO show. My name's Chris Netto. I am here and I am joined by our good friend, Melissa Dillman. How are you?
I'm doing great tonight, Chris. How are you?
Doing good. Our other co-host, the AV Blue Chipper, Mike Shin. How are you, sir?
I'm doing all right, Chris.
You're doing good.
Ready to dive in.
You looking?
I'm a little under the weather, so sorry about that.
Okay, we'll keep it quick. We'll keep it short. The whole premise behind our show is that it's a 15-minute opinionated show. We got 15 minutes to get out our opinions to you based on questions that we have received or some hot topics that we've seen in the industry. So let's get right to the topic, and then our clock starts going, and we got 15 minutes to discuss this. It's a short, it's quick, and it's an easy podcast for you guys to digest. Thank you again for allowing us to keep doing this, because when we started the pilot of this, we never thought it would be successful, and as of right now, we're doing pretty well. So thank you for watching the show. So today we're going to go into the topic that everybody's talking about. Everybody, including kids, adults in the AV industry, outside the industry. Today we are going to talk more in depth about
Donald Trump.
Yes, politics, because we love talking politics on the show. We're actually going to go right into something harder to find than people that like Donald Trump. We're going to go look for Pokemon today. All right, so today we're going to be talking and discussing augmented reality. Just want to point out, this is our second augmented reality show, and the other one by chance happened prior to us knowing anything about Pokemon coming out. We did that based on some findings that we saw at Infocom and brought to you because it was asked, what are some of the things that we should have seen or could have seen or would have wanted to see more of? We brought up augmented reality. 2 weeks later, Pokemon Go explodes and becomes the biggest thing since sliced bread. Well, if sliced bread was ever considered big. So my question, or the question is, let's take a look at Pokemon Go specifically. Mike, we're going to start with you. Well, no, wait. We're going to go with Melissa because you're under the weather. We're going to let you get your juices flowing.
Thank
Melissa, tell me about Pokemon Go. What do you know of it?
I know I tried to download the app and it didn't work.
Yeah, it was trying to find servers. That's one problem that is out there. We know that for a fact.
Yeah, I didn't give it a whole lot of energy after that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what I like about Pokemon Go is, first of all, I have no idea what Pokemon is. Didn't ever play it. Didn't participate in that. But I like the idea of the augmented reality coming to the masses. And even though they have no idea really what we're talking about, I think this is certainly a technology that has some serious potential, mostly in marketing and advertising, mostly in how we're going to move products, generate excitement and interest. It's got some serious potential, and I like the fact that people are very quickly adopting it and getting really excited about it.
Yeah.
So for me, that's the piece to it.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, let's all be honest, the three people that are going to sit here right now are giving you their honest opinion. We're more fascinated with the technology than it's going to be the actual gameplay, because the gameplay, you talk to these gamers, the hardcore gamers are on PC games, they play their PC games, the Xbox people play this game is taking people outside. So kudos to them for at least getting people that are typically inside out and about, walking the streets, doing what they're doing, looking for Pokemon. I'll give them credit for that. Now, Mike, my question, same question to you. What's your thoughts on Pokemon Go specifically?
Well, based on my research, because it blew up so quickly, I had no idea who developed it, how it came to be. All I heard was Nintendo's total value grew by $7.5 billion in 3 days, which just stunned me and really got me interested. So the company that developed Pokemon Go, the game, Niantic, this is their second run at an attempt at an AR game to get people engaged. The first one was an alien war-based app that actually one of my coworkers Zach Wright told me about just this past week, that it was an interesting concept then, but it just didn't get adoption. So what's really driving the adoption is the association with Pokemon Go, which I think is or with Pokemon, which is obvious. What intrigues me is, what is this going to launch into in terms of the future for AR? Melissa, you just mentioned, the marketing and the retail potential associated with this. I think that's absolutely where this is going to take off, because where the money can be made is going to be in the retail market, not for buying the app or downloading the app. But does that mean that it could relate to transactions that are happening between as an interface for the customer to the retail store? So I'm really, really interested to see how that all gets developed from here.
So
I think this is going to end up leading us into a second type of show where we're going to, as we did with the last show, we started talking about Mike's idea of AR, and that became the whole topic of the show. I have a whole series of questions regarding the use of AR in AV. So, Melissa, you go and see if we can keep this to 15 minutes, because this is where this is how the show develops. Go ahead.
Sweet and simple. I've been seeing some really cool stuff in the marketing side now. You guys probably don't care, but for the women out there, they're doing this whole AR thing where I can walk into a store, walk up to an outfit, and it will superimpose it on my image in a dressing room or out on the floor. That could be a really cool piece to have, saving you the time and hassle, right? So for retailers, I think this thing could be huge, and it's right on the edge. I'm excited that it just hits so many people who may not even realize what they're doing. Mm-hmm. But it hits so many people that have now been exposed to this, and I think they're going to start expecting it in other venues. So somebody way smarter than me will figure out a great way to make money with this and make it work.
Well, the money to
probably
be made,
mine.
The money to be made, I think, is off of the data mining. I mean, I'm just floored that so many people are willing to have this app follow them around and literally start mapping their commute habits, or what stores they tend to go to, or where they like to spend their free time, or who went to the shore this weekend. And it's one thing for the maps that we use and our GPSs to do that. This is now going to have the potential to track trends, buying habits, the stores that you prefer. I think that's absolutely where the money is going to get made, because then those companies are going to be able to pay for this data to be downloaded so that they know more about you.
Yeah, imagine if they connected this to the Google Street View and somehow were able to Street View everything.
Or Waze, or any, yeah.
Aren't there ways that you can find where these little things are?
They
that
try.
You discover?
There are a couple things out there. One thing is called Pokey Vision, which is a website that you go to, and you should be able to look and find where those are. The other one is a proposed Pokey app. I forget what it's called, but I've been asked to continue my research and find out where this thing is.
I want to see how many times you say Pokey.
I'm a level 13 Pokey master at this point. I've spent time.
But aren't there?
There's better things to do with your time. Absolutely. But okay.
But there are a couple of retailers who are already taking advantage of this, right?
Absolutely.
Where you get a special, or you get something when you
What has already been exploited with this is retail businesses that discovered that they have a Pokestop or a gym inside or outside their area. They are encouraging, come use our Pokemons. I've seen signs, come to our Poke Gym. We have a Pokestop outside our offices. We have a Pokestop in front of our store. And then you get there and there's hey, you're playing Pokemon, snap a picture, take a picture, post it on Instagram of a Pokemon in front of our sign. Can you see the potential of, oh my God, Nerds, I found a Bulbasaur sitting in front of the post office. Post office is going to love that now they have hashtag post office Pokemon.
Yeah.
Cases. From that perspective, that exploitation is already happening. There's also the bad side, which everybody wants to talk about, how there are people that don't want Pokemon players playing or hunting for Pokemon inside, museums or places. Obviously, they put Pokestops or whatever those things are called outside of cemeteries. So maybe they want to, curtail that. I'm sorry, but you look at, they randomly chose public areas, and companies and businesses are using it. If you are a brick and mortar, you want these people coming.
Oh, Chris, I'm not sure I believe anything's random.
Oh, come on. I'm trying to be the optimistic one here.
Okay.
Chris, I have brick and mortar, and I don't want people coming to my house to play Pokemon Go out in my doorstep. I mean,
that's a whole different show.
That's a whole different show, which we want to go into.
The whole concept of how this game is played reminds me of Dungeons and Dragons and groups of teenagers getting together at board game stores, and playing in the back room.
You may be right, but here's the scary part. I didn't know that those things existed.
Okay, I did, and I still think you're a bigger geek for playing Pokemon Go.
Okay, granted, you sat in the card store that also sold Dungeons and Dragons in the back room playing Dungeons and Dragons. At least I'm outside.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
And if you think I'm playing Pokemon Go, you come up to me. I'll quickly switch to Twitter and tell you that I'm not.
Okay, got it.
How about that? So there you go. There's the most bizarre MHO show we probably had conversation, and we're going to continue this conversation on the next one because we give you our honest opinion, and in this case, our honest opinion's all over the place. You have somebody who likes it and two people who don't, and then there's one other thing that we have not even begun to talk about, which is, and Mike, well, I guess Mike touched on it. Why we just handed over all this information? What is the scary things to it? And that's something that we're going to touch on the next MHO show. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Let's go back to, let's go with Melissa. Melissa, how can people find you online?
Hey, you can follow me on Twitter at Melissa Dillman. I'm there all the time, anytime. So drop me a note. Answering questions. I saw that cool thing you did with when you handed out to Austin, and you got to meet a friend and a fan. That was pretty Austin
cool.
is my new favorite city.
That's it. Austin is your new favorite city. Mike, a little under weather today, but where can we find you when you're feeling better?
You can find me on Twitter at AXPMike, LinkedIn, Facebook, all the interwebs, and of course, AVNation's website.
Again, thank you, Mike. Thanks, Melissa. I'm Chris Netto. You can find me at Chris_Netto on Twitter and Chris.Netto on Snapchat. We're there. We're always available. We're taking your questions and topics for our next shows. We're going to record a couple more. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. This has been the MHO Show.